Alright, our next step is priming. Remember, reloaders, 454 Casull, small rifle. Not small pistol, small rifle, and the majority of the time, Magnum. Of course, whenever you're priming, you want to wear your safety glasses. And when you are priming, make sure you're not pointing the case mouth at yourself. Point it away from you or anyone else. Okay, we got our primers in there. Whenever you put your primers into the tray, check to make sure that the primers have a priming mixture in there. It's usually a yellow, sometimes a green color. And also check to make sure that the primer has an anvil. If there's no anvil in there, it's not going to fire. It'd be the same like having spark plugs in your motor without the wires attached. Okay, I'm going to put our case on there. And we're just going to squeeze it. Alright, then we want to inspect it. We want to make sure that that primer again is at least flush with the case head. But realistically we want it 1/1000th to about 3/1000ths below the case head. Okay, it's good to go. Put it right there in our case block. Do a few more so you guys can see. This RCBS universal hand priming tool is what I'm using. Don't have to use one of these. You can prime off the press. There's a lot of different priming tools out there. I like this one because it can do a wide range of calibers, and you don't have to have the shell holder. It's just got these two little spring-loaded, I guess, clamps in there. So that's it. Go ahead and do all those, and then we'll move on to our powder. Alright, there's a little example of how you want your primer to be seated there into the case. You can see it's just barely deeper than flush. Alright, so that's what you're looking for. There's a nice little close-up of that accurate 4100 powder. You can see it's very, very fine ball powder. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw our powder charges now. Just like normal, doing any other cartridge. And when you throw that lever as consistent as you can each time, make sure you zero your scale. And after dropping our powder charges, go ahead and just set it down where there's light. You want to inspect to make sure you've got powder in all your cases, not double charged. As you can see there, for example, by my thumb, there's one that has no powder. So just always double check. Go ahead and get your bullet seating die set up as you normally would, in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Okay, then you just seat the projectile. Oh, it's going to fall out. Seat the projectile. You're going to run it up, and then with these lead projectiles, you can see right there that crimping groove. Okay, you want it to get the projectile seated so that the crimping groove is going to be about right there, so that you can get a good crimp. And the next step, I recommend seating and crimping in 2 different steps. You can do it all at once, but I think it's easier to seat first, then change a die for crimping. A little bit longer process, but I think it works better. So go ahead and run it up into the case, or up into the die. Alright, then just adjust the depth stem until you get it where you want. You can see it's going a little bit lower each time. Okay, I think right, one more little turn, and we're good. Okay, so I'm going to seat all these projectiles, and then we'll go over the crimping. Okay, we've got our projectile seated now to the depth recommended and the reloading manual that I'm using. Our next step is to put a nice heavy crimp on that case. So I want you guys to pay attention. Right there where the case meets the projectile, you can see if I run the scribe, I can get a bit of a bite between the case and the projectile. So I'm able to get a bite on that case mouth. Alright, so now we're going to run it up into the die to crimp it. So after seating it, you just back that seating stem up all the way and then slowly lower the die body into the press a little bit, run the case up and see the level of crimp. Okay, so we're going to run it up, so pay attention to that area right there. Okay, after I run it up, I'm going to run it up and crimp it. Right, now you'll see it's got a taper where that mouth was. See that? See, now I can't get a bite on it anymore. Alright, so you want that nice strong crimp in there to prevent that projectile from creeping forward under recoil, which can cause cylinder lockup again, and it can cause loss of pressure, which could lead to squibs. Well, there you have the finished product. So one that we made today with the video is the Cast Precision brand 335 grain lead cast gas check, and before I've done the 300 grain Hornady XTP mag, and then there's some Underwood ammo. They use the 240 grain XTP projectile, and they've got that coming in at 1900 feet per second. There's a noticeable amount more recoil when you fire the Underwood than the reloads. So I want to get in tight there and show you guys a little bit of difference in the crimps, because a good solid crimp is such an important thing here on this 454 ammo. You can see the Underwood factory ammo, there's not much crimp on there, maybe a slight taper from the factory, and I got a decent roll crimp there on my XTP right in the cantilever, and a pretty solid crimp there on the lead cast. Alright, so remember that nice and heavy crimp is important so you don't get the projectile creeping, which can cause cylinder lockup and or a squib. Everything I've done in this video was pretty much regurgitating what I've already seen on YouTube. I just wanted to get a little bit more specific and try and show more specific examples to you guys. So if you are interested, here's some other guys that have good reloading stuff as well as 454. This guy right here, Old Knight, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I pretty much got the idea for this from his 454 Casull vids, and he has nicer data and graphs on the projectile creep. There's also Gunsmith reloading. You can see it there. There you go, Gunsmith reloading. Lots and lots of detailed reloading stuff. Everything from beginning to using bar stock, brass bar stock, or tubes to make your own projectiles. Fortune Cookie 45 Long Colt. I really like that guy's channel. He's got, again, ton of reloading stuff. He's got good data on reloading shot shell and as well as casting. And I like his humor. His humor is pretty funny. It's kind of dry. Might go over some people's head, but I really like his stuff. Then Iraq Veteran 8888. He has reloading and gunsmithing stuff. He's also an instructor at SDI, if any of you guys are familiar with that. Outer Banks Solar and Wind. He has some good stuff on Dillon machines. Setups and conversions, tips and tricks for the Dillons. Usually the 1050 and the 650. And Science Sci-Fi Gaming. He has some good general reloading stuff as well as videos on the deuce and a half trucks. Pretty cool. Ammo Channel. That guy's got all kinds of crazy stuff. Lots of lead casting as well as like testing ammo. You know, hey, let's see if this 30-06 M2 ball will go through 1/2" steel. So that's more references for you guys. I hope this video helped. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know anything else that hopefully I could do a video on to help everyone out. Alright everybody, be safe out there, take care, have fun shooting. Bye.